My mic sounds nice, check 1. My mic sounds nice, check 2.
She's crazy.
She is crazy.
Ready? Crazy.
Ready?
She is ain't gonna act right. It's all right though. It's all right.
Exploring.
Yes,
Musical venues.
It's your musical improvisation.
Yes.
We love it.
Yes. When I was at the Juilliard,
Lord.
I'm lying. I would never at the Juilliard. When I was at the Juilliard sitting down outside on the college bench. Anyway, we are Harmonize the Podcast with
Nina
and Kenya and
we are here to talk about all things being black,
being a woman,
being a wife,
being a mama,
being an artist,
being a Christian,
and all the things.
Oh my gosh, go ahead, laugh.
Yes, it's
Laugh.
just sugar. We
Yes,
promise.
it's just sugar, yeah.
Just sugar.
That daggone McCafe. Well, I'm excited today. I'm so very excited.
Why
Miss Nina.
you cited?
I'm very excited because we have a spectacular guest today.
All right.
We have been talking about her so much upon the show.
Yep.
And we talked about her before we even had the show.
This is true.
This is true. Yeah.
Now,
Put you in already.
Now see the we wasn't talking about her. We wasn't.
Yeah, no, we weren't gossiping. Cause you ain't heard nothing from me.
Because Kenya's not one to talk.
But
No. But I heard.
Who is our guest? Who is our guest?
This beautiful Brooklyn born, Harlem raised, cutie patootie, artist, stylist, creative mama. Her name is Zeita. Woo! Zeita! She owns her own line of jewelry, but she is just so much more, Miss Nina.
Yes, do tell.
Yes, well, when I had she is right here. She just we just trying to warm up, y'all know. But when I met her, I was like, first of all, she got all her stylizations going on. She had all this beautiful nails and beautiful skin and beautiful hair and beautiful. And I was like, where are you from? And then that accent came out. I was like, oh, you got to be from New York. You must be from Brooklyn. Yes, well, let us just welcome her. Zeita, welcome to our podcast.
Say hello, Zeita.
She's shy.
yes, very.
It's okay.
I wish you
warm
could see her
up.
because every time she laughs, she kind of turns to the side. She blinks her eyes and she just does a little kissy mouth thing. Then she turns to the other side. She blinks.
So
kissy poo.
funny.
Yes. But we're so finally glad to have you on our podcast. I've been talking you up. And what I know about you, Ms. Zeita, is that you're so creative. Like you're a walking piece of artwork. You really are. You really are.
I would say that.
So can you tell us a little bit, because I know you're all about the New York and stuff. Will you tell us about your creative things that you've done in New York?
Okay. So the creative things that I've done in New York really is, I was a cosmetologist, so that was really my creativity. That's where,
because her hair is did all the time.
Always. She got gold pieces hanging and stuff. Yes, ponytails sometimes she be having. Right now, you's
what
walking.
I feel like,
right.
But I got to throw the braids in there.
Yes,
you
yes,
got to have the braids if you're from New York.
That's right.
But anyway, so that's where my creativity was. It was really based in cosmetology. But since I stopped doing it, it was like I had to find another outlet for it.
Yes.
I had been doing cosmetology for over 20 years.
Okay.
So, I needed to find the energy needed to go somewhere.
Right.
Right.
So what took you out of New York to Cleveland?
What took me out of New York to Cleveland?
And did you go all the way to? I mean, like, did you have some stops along the way before you came to Cleveland, or?
Yes. Okay. So I was born in Brooklyn, but I was raised in Manhattan. So it's Manhattan right here, right now. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
was born in
I'm
Brooklyn.
from Manhattan.
Exactly. Upper Manhattan,
That's
Washington
right.
Heights. Okay. Down the street from the bodega. Okay. So don't play.
That's right. 142nd Street between
Right.
the Heights. In the Heights.
That's right. In the Heights.
But what I
You
do
know.
with 96 kids?
Yeah, go girl. What?
Yeah.
Piragua.
Right? Oh my God. See, we know Lin-Manuel. See, he comes in every time.
Lived down the street when he wrote that, I'm sure. I'm sorry, yes. We were talking about Miss Zeita. Go on in there. This is all about her.
So that, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in downtown Manhattan.
Okay. Go on there.
Of course, I lived uptown, but I've also lived in Midtown too. So I kind of like lived all over Manhattan,
So you were immersed with art.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I lived on 87th Street. So if I wanted to dress like that, then, I would dress like that.
Right.
Then I hung on 8th Avenue. So, when I wanted to dress like that, I would do that.
Okay.
And I went to Catholic school, so I had to throw my uniform on.
That's right.
So.
Short skirts and a scarf.
Exactly. And sit on the train and try not to fight nobody.
That's right. Yes. That's right.
So
carry the mace, girl. Carry the mace.
So I did that for a long time, and then I went to Virginia.
Okay.
So I went to school in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yes.
I went to Norfolk State for a hot second. Okay, don't judge me.
It's all right. You went.
Okay? I went for a hot second, but I've always wanted to do cosmetology anyway, and I wanted to go. There was a school in New York called Mabel Dean Bacon, and I wanted to go there. But my mother was like, "No, you're not. You're going to Catholic school." So I had to go to Catholic school, but the urge was still there.
Right,
when I went to Norfolk State, I went to Norfolk State for a minute, and then I went to cosmetology school.
Okay.
And that's where I got my license. And I did hair in Virginia for a long time, at least 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
So I did that. And then I went back to New York.
All right.
Yeah.
And you
that
had
was
that degree?
Fun. What degree in what?
Cosmetology.
Oh, okay.
That's what I say. Or certification, or whatever.
No, it is. It's a license.
You can't just be walking up into
no.
Especially into the nice parts of New York. Well, some people actually get away with it. I have no idea how they make it up there. Yeah. But yes, you got to have some credentials. That I know.
You do. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I got my license in Virginia, and then I went back to New York. And I did hair in New York for a while too. I did hair in like Chelsea, 23rd Street, and on the east side near Bellevue.
Oh, yes. I know where I'm proud to say my son was born.
I said, what?
Don't
you had a
judge
baby in Bellevue? Really?
For whatever reason, I felt completely at home there. I could have gone to Harlem Hospital. I could have gone to Columbia, but for whatever reason, I felt the need to go to Bellevue. And they were wonderful.
Exactly, because you were sane. That's why they were wonderful, because you were sane.
But yes, so what I wanted to ask you too was, when you came to Cleveland, was that when you opened your business, Azory?
No.
So how did that get started?
Azory got started.
Is it? First of all, what is it?
My business is called Azory.
Okay.
That is my daughter's name. Her name is Akela Zori. Okay. So the A is for Akela, and Zori it's Azory. That's why it's Azory.
That's so beautiful sounding.
Yes, that's wonderful.
It sounds like a princess.
So when I came to Cleveland, I was working and everything like that, and that's when of course the recession and all of that.
Oh Lord, yes,
hit and
happy times.
Yes. In so many ways.
All right.
So many happy times.
Yes.
But anyway, so, I had my daughter in 2008. And then we decided to move to Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's where I started the Azory business. I started it in Cleveland, but it was more like I was just purchasing jewelry and having little home shows. Okay. Sort of like a Mary Kay kind of setup.
Oh, okay.
And then, the recession was so hard in Cleveland. It was just, I was ready to get out of here.
Right.
So, but we had a home. So we kept the home and we moved to Atlanta.
Yes.
For a couple of years.
That's right. Keep it real.
Yeah. And so that's what I did. I went to Atlanta and I started a really full-fledged business in Atlanta.
Okay.
And a discount mark though. Don't, you know.
Hey, you know, look,
It was nice.
listen.
A few pictures too, you know.
Listen, listen. Despise not small beginnings.
That's right.
Okay.
That is the purpose for our engagement.
Yeah. So you said something that like I think is key to part of what we talk about on the show, and that's when you stopped cosmetology, you had to have somewhere for that energy to go.
Yes.
And you put it in the jewelry, and I'm going to link your Amazon page in the show notes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So people can see the lovely designs and order.
Yes.
But also Zeita's house.
Oh, we get to that.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
The house is amazing. It's
Yes.
not just the jewelry. In anything Zeita touches
Yes.
becomes artful.
It does.
And you can tell, you know, that you just love what you're doing. And to me, like, we could say, oh, her gift is like crafting, you know, that's her artistic thing. But to me, your gift is like creating beauty wherever you go. So it's either on people, you know, or in the adornment of people, or on the space.
Right.
Can you talk about the importance of having beauty in front of your eyes?
Oh, wow. I mean, no, that's definitely a valid point right there.
right.
And, you know, you do things so many times. You're just doing it, you know, you're just moving in a space and you don't even really look at it like that.
Right.
But I do feel like I can sit in my living room and I'm like, I'm not feeling inspired in here, or the walls need this, or I need that. You know what I mean? And then that's how it goes for me. It just comes out in so many forms till sometimes I feel like I'm a scatterbrain, because it could be I'm painting a table, a bookshelf. My husband looks at me and be like, really? I mean, I can't even carry that.
He comes home and it's a spotlight on him.
Exactly.
Like, what you doing now?
You're making artwork now. Are you doing the jewelry still? Are you still doing jewelry? You know, so I'm all over the place. But to me, that you know, you have to have those things around you to make you feel inspired to do anything, to even just get up, to be a good mom, to be a wife, to cook the dinner, you know, the wipe count. You just have to have those things in front of you to just make you feel good, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point, because that you brought up, Nina, about basically in whatever she touches, she's able to add beauty too. And I think that's what it is, that you could see it on you when you're walking, you could feel it around you. But when I first went to your house, I was like, oh, you know, you think the way that I carry on about your house, that you live in like in Pepper Pike, Pepper Pikeula, you know, Westchester, or something like that. You know, because what I understand as a beautiful home is not so much the size of it or those kind of things, but it's how beautifully everything is directed. And I know in New York, you have art hitting you at all times, so you're constantly being influenced.
Yeah.
And when you go into someone's small little apartment, you know, they have everything placed just so, and it looks just absolutely fabulous. Take those same items and put them in a big home in Ohio, it's just all over the place. That was my experience. But what you seem to have done is take the essence of that and still have it completely in the home. You have it on how you dress. You know, you just package it very well. So I'm wondering how how all of that came about for you. I mean, were these experiences that happened to you that you learned along the way, a mix with creativity? Like, how did that come about?
It came about, I mean, my grandmother I'm a lot like my grandmother. And I really didn't realize that until I got a little bit older. But my grandmother made hats, them hats that Andre 2000 wearing. Like, you know what? My grandmother made those. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, my grandmother made hats. She sold candy. She was a teacher. She was a missionary. Yeah. She just did a lot of things. And I didn't even really realize that. And then when we were in New York, my aunt Carrie, who just, she just passed away, but she was an upholsterer. She could upholster anything. Wow. She would redo her sofa in her bar and her living room. And I mean, you're sitting there as a child, you're not even realizing the skill it takes to accomplish these things. You just, that's what she do. Right, she just does that. Right. So that's what she did. And she spilled that onto my mother.
Oh, okay.
And my mother always painted and things like that. So that's, I think that's part of the reason why I just like to do things, especially around the house. Yeah. And when you were talking about like small spaces, when we lived with my aunt first, and then we moved my mother had her own apartment downtown, but you already know New York, it was a 2x2.
Yes.
Okay. One bedroom.
Yes.
And my mother was so meticulous about where you put stuff. She always says there's a place for everything, and everything has a place.
Not even they ain't even no junk drawer. It's not. Junk need to go someplace in the place. Right.
There's a place for everything. Everything in this place. And do not get me wrong. My house is nowhere near neat or clean or all the time. And none of that. Now, if somebody coming over, then I might try a little something. But on a regular basis, that's just not how I do it. I just don't do a lot of my mother always says she doesn't do knickknacks because she don't like the dust.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Right. I don't want to be dusting all that stuff. So I try not to do a lot of that kind of thing. Right. And I think that's where it just comes from. It comes from my mother and my grandmother and my aunt. Okay. Because those were the women that were around me, and they did hands-on stuff. So it wasn't like, oh, I can't paint that wall. It was like, oh, I can paint it. And then with Google, or YouTube,
yes, right. That's the institute.
That opened up all kind of doors for me. You know what I mean? How do you paint a door? I'm right on there, and then I just get the information and I just do it.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's legacy, it's tradition, it's all of those things for you. I mean, and I think one of the things that we are rediscovering as Black women is the value of being makers.
Yes.
And making things, because there was a time, in our history when we had to, because we didn't have access. Right. So we had to be makers. Right. And then, once some things changed and there was more access, then we had time to explore other things, but some of those traditions went away, the making. Right. Because like in my family, on both sides, but particularly on my mom's side, my auntie Janice is a seamstress. She is now the master baker in the family. She's a caterer, and when I say master baker, I mean she can like anything that anybody is making on Cake Boss and all of this stuff. She can make that stuff. If you show her a picture of it, she can do it. I have seen her draw things. You gotta put that picture up. We're gonna put them up. She's made everybody in the family's wedding cakes, but like my cousin Shalimar, we put the dress that broke the internet on Instagram last week. Auntie Janice made her dress. She made the entire wedding parties.
I'm over here shaking my head.
Look, she made. Wait, first of all, let's go down the list. Auntie Janice made her dress. Her gown. Yeah. She made Shalimar's gown. Yeah. She made Shal's kids the things that they wore. She made Jamar's dashiki. She and Shalimar made all of the table runners. They made all of the favors that were on the table. They made the wedding favor, which was cupcakes. This is like 150 cupcakes. She made the wedding cake and the groom's cake, and walked out there looking fabulous, honey. And we were like she ain't did nothing, and then, you add my cousin Malika in the mix. Malika did everybody's hair, and was doing everybody's makeup, and then, and we have gotten cooking fingers from that side of the family. And, my Louisiana people, of course, I got cooking fingers from them too. But like my Auntie Janice is so skilled as a baker that she can taste the raw dough. And like she can just like dip her finger and go, okay, it needs more baking soda powder, salt, whatever. Right. She can weigh it in her hand. These rolls are the right density or whatever. And it's like we have to have a bread making class because we cannot, the women in the family, this can't go when she goes.
Right. Yes. Well, and as you say that, and I think about some things that even in my grandmother that she's done that's gone away that I'm trying to capture. Just bread making, making bread or cheese straws. Yeah. I don't know how to do that. Nobody knows how to do that, but also in my family, like your mom, Zeita, and your family, we made stuff because we had to. Yeah. Up until high school, nobody, I didn't have no, what is it, La Aeropostale? La Aeropostale, not La Croix, but or lacrosse or whatever it was. Right. But I didn't have that. I just, it always was like, Kenya, you're so original. I was like, okay, I just, took 2 pieces of material and put some, put the back out because I didn't have enough material. So if that's what you call impressive, yes, thank you. Runway walk. Exactly. Right. And you know what? I think, and we've gotten away from that. Of course, now channeling Iris.
Who is Iris?
Girl, Iris. She calls herself the Starlit Octogenarian. Something like that. Or something like that. Yeah. But what I think of you, Zeita, I think along those lines because she is a woman who is about style. Because she says everything is so, the same and people are so safe when they dress. Mm-hmm.
Iris. I know what you're talking about. Okay, yes.
Everything is so the same. And, and people they've lost their quest for creativity. And somehow or another, Zeita, you managed to keep that. And I'm always drawn to it. Yeah. I know I keep talking about your house. Y'all don't be trying to go into her house. But first of all, she got a very fierce dog who will bite your boo-boo off. Okay. But if I could paint people who are listening a picture, when you walk in and you even look at the floors, which I love the floors because it's a simple idea, but you shellacked your floors using brown paper bag. I was like, that is amazeballs. That is totally amazing. Like, it's not a expensive.
No, it wasn't expensive at all.
It took the labor, of course. And the tugging and pulling of husband, I'm guessing. Yes. If he was involved in all, can you tell us, is this something that you get a lot of help on? When you have these creative things, is this a Zeita moment or are all parties involved?
Okay. Now with that floor, I had to, people couldn't even get the concept of it. So I, of course I saw it on YouTube, so I'm not going to take the credit for that. Right. It's not my idea. Right. Okay? Right. But, I saw it years ago. Okay. And I kept telling him, we had a dog, we have a dog, we had carpet. Yeah. It was a new construction, but of course the dog, has accidents, I'll just say. Yes. So the carpet needed to go. Yeah. So we wanted to do something new. And with that project, that was definitely, I had to have support on that. Right. I was not going to.
You had to put on the Zeita nag.
Exactly. And he actually was like,
that is the art of being a woman.
Exactly. He was like, well, you want to do it, then we're going to have to come together. But I'm like, I work differently than him. Yeah. So I need my supplies. I need to be in order. We need to be on, we have a plan. Right. I can't just go in there and start ripping up stuff and then got the supplies. Right.
Y'all got to meet Stan. Stan is funny because he's like, she's always looking like confused. What you doing now? Oh, Stan, come on in here and just do this. Why don't you just let me lead. Let me lead. That's the real, y'all.
Exactly. Now that is the real. Right. But on most of my projects, no, I don't, because I can be walking and I'll, and we were talking about, doing things around the house and things like that. And we were on a tight budget because I wasn't working.
Right.
Yes, I had the jewelry, but it wasn't like it was just booming all over the place.
Right.
It wasn't like it was booming all over the place. So what I had to do was I'm a thrift shop junkie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I love Habitat for Humanity. I love, they have this other place on Euclid. And I love to collect small little items, not too big, but cheap.
Yes.
Very cheap. And revamp them, repaint them, put chalk paint on them. Yeah. I mean, those simple little things, spray paint them,
Yes.
Go ahead,
America and every place else. I remember because I had in my backyard, I had this, what was this?
It's a beautiful metal.
It was a metal yard set. And I was like,
details on
it's ugly. I can't take it anymore. Blah. I don't want it. I'm going to throw it away. And you were like, girl, get some spray paint. Spray paint is the answer. I was like, really? Yeah, girl, just go. And you told me where to go, what to get. And I was like, but what she did was then paint me a picture. Like, I would spray paint this color and then put some candles around over here and then go get your coffee. And I was like, but she said coffee. I was like, coffee? It's a possibility. Let me go and get some spray paint. And I did. And it is beautiful. I don't even want to keep it outside. I think I'm going to bring it in for the winter time and use it in the house. But you know what? But just that little bit, because in my head, that part of the yard had just died and I couldn't deal with it. Yeah. You came in and you was like, girl, please. And you can drink some coffee too. I was like, what? Coffee?
Oh my
gosh.
So funny. So funny.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
That was it.
But I like how you talk about being real and thrifty, because I'm going to tell you this. I love home improvement shows like the next person. Mm-hmm. But when I look at it, it's so unrealistic. Oh, we're going to go and flip this house and we're going to pay $35,000.
He sells umbrellas and I walk dogs and our budget is $2.5 million.
Really?
What kind of dogs you been walking? What do you do with them damn dogs? I'm like, I have served on such and such as the director of dance for years, and I graduated. Oh, Laude, not sum cum laude, just oh, Laude. When I did graduate, and I've been dancing for a long time in choreography, and I know English words, and I speak French, and all those things. Well, how much do you pay? $10 every month. Now, make your life out of $10. But that's the reality, though. I mean, so when I say that you can really make beauty out of a small budget, I love that you go into places like Habitat for Humanity and you can find them. Like, oh my gosh, you took me into Z Gallery a few months back, and because I was like, I'm not going in that store. There's no way I'm going in that store. You can't find anything in that store. She was like, girl, you could find something in the store. I'm like, no, you cannot. I walked right in. I was like, oh my God, Zeita, that's like $10. I can afford that. Exactly. She was like, that's what I've been telling you. And whatever you can find that's too expensive, you can make it. I was like, right, I can.
Very true.
It is. It's very true. I think like this time of year, holiday time, we can, it's important, and we can sometimes like get really stressed out because it's like, oh my God, the kids are going to be home, and how am I going to have my, what I do routine? There you go, arts and crafts.
The power of arts and crafts.
And a cup of coffee.
You're right.
Or a glass of wine. I mean,
that's right.
If you ain't got to go out, one or the other.
Right. I'm telling you.
But then, also you can pass on those traditions, and that legacy during that time. Like when I think about my dad's side of the family and I think about Christmas, there's two things we always think about: cocoons, which I'll tell y'all what that is in a minute.
Like, okay.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say coon, like a coon party. No, my people's from Alabama. No, I ain't on that one.
There's a whole bunch of things I was thinking with coons. I heard the cup part though. So
right, no, cocoon. Oh my God.
Yes. No, I was like, oh my gosh, my knees are going that way, my neck going that way.
Lord Jesus.
The cocoon.
Yes. No. Christmas at my mom's house meant cocoons and meat pie. Okay. And so cocoon is a cookie. Okay.
Oh, yes,
and so
yes.
it is it's not the same, but it's similar to what most people know as like a Mexican wedding cake cookie. But it's shaped long and it doesn't have the raisins. Okay. So this is like the Creole version of that.
Okay.
But it is like basically a shortbread cookie with some pecans in it and powdered sugar.
My butt is growing already. Just think about that.
Girl, listen, you cannot make them things. Listen. If you make, you know the little stupid butter cookie tin that like your grandmother always keeps sewing stuff in?
Yeah.
So, we would keep those and everybody would get their tin of cocoons. Them things would be gone in a day. Okay. So, the cocoon recipe was preserved before Momo passed. So all my aunties know how to make the cocoon. And they taught my sister. My sister taught me. So, so cocoons have been preserved.
All right.
Praise God for the cocoon.
All right. Meat pie has been preserved.
Okay.
All that stuff. So it's, and those traditions, like, cause Kenyon talk about all the time, like you're making a history.
Yeah.
This time of year is one of those times where you can make that history. You can make your own traditions. Right. And you can teach them to be makers.
Right. That's true. Yeah. It's important. I think it's very important in our culture.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say too, is that that is so important. The part about making traditions and also honoring the traditions that were already laid out for you. We are so fast and we're moving and we're losing a lot of our own history, and I think that's why I do a lot of the things that I do, because I don't want to lose it.
Right.
If I had to pay close attention, I could sew a dress right now.
Right.
If I paid attention to my grandmother, I could sew a dress right now. If I paid attention a little bit more closely to my aunt, I could really reupholster a sofa because I want to, but I'm not quite there yet. Okay? Right. But those kind of things are so important that we pass down how to make something, a recipe that the gumbo recipe. My uncle had a gumbo recipe. Now he put it in our family reunion book, but everybody's like, now that's not all of the stuff that go in there.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be similar, but that ain't gonna be Uncle Clemmy's on gumbo. That ain't gonna be
working woman now.
So those kind of things. We are such a fast pace right now, and we are losing so much of our history, and so many things that are. They're irreplaceable.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's what was the fascinating thing about the floors. I know I'm going back to the floor. But the fascinating thing was that you said, I'm from New York. You have to shellac your own floors. You can't wait on your landlord to do nothing. Please. Which is true. But you took that idea and then and you kept the tradition of it, but you gave it a little kick, twist. A little twist, and you made it realistic. It's a floor that's easy to clean, but it's the same. The work and the tradition of it is the same, and I think about, as you're bringing up tradition, just growing up, my mom teaching me to bake or to cook or those kinds of, or just allow me to even watch her. Because, she kind of didn't really, she was like, just sit aside. Okay. Just watch.
We had to get in.
And I was like, okay, just eat the cake. Eat the cake, can you make? And I sure did. My mama used to make 2 and 3 German chocolates because by the time I was in 6th grade, I had my own cake. I was eating the whole thing by myself. Yes. And it would evaporate into air. Now it just applies itself on different parts of my arms, but that's okay. I had a good run, but I digress. But but just the fact I did, but but it's just how she had the house in order. because she had to. You know, you had to. She lived at the time, y'all. We was living in Kinsman, and in Kinsman, you know, there's people there. There's Black people there. There are also an array of different types of bugs. So, if you want to sleep with a roach,
then you can.
You have a roach party if you want to, but not in Miss Moselle's house. You're not going to do that.
That's right.
Because there ain't going to be nothing for nobody to eat.
Exactly.
So, you know, nobody was eating after 6 o'clock. After that, that's why it was all thin. Nobody was eating because there wasn't no crumbs. Everything was in its place. Stuff was clean. Plastic was on. It was all of that. And so, in the spirit of that tradition, like it's taken me so long to learn that and understand the beauty of that. And so when I walk into your house and I walk into your space, I'm reminded of that. Plus, I'm reminded of the creativity that you bring to it as well, which is a beautiful marriage, you know, and those are the things that, you know, ideally, this is when I think about moving into the holiday space, that I'm like, that's what I want to achieve. You know, it may not happen all over the house, you know. This is not home improvements. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to get $335,000 to flip a house to live in or whatever. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to have $10. I'm going to make the whole house work on $10. Now, how do I do it? I don't know.
But you have to actually love the space you're in, though. That's most importantly. It's not about living on Park Avenue or living in Brattonall or something like that. Right. It's about where you are. That's true. When you're talking about the crumbs and stuff, I don't do bugs. I can't. Right. I just, you know, even when I lived in that apartment in New York, if you are living in an apartment in New York, you have to be on top of it. Yes, when we would go away, like when we would go out of town, we would comment everything. Everything got comment on. Exactly. Comment on everything to keep the bugs down.
And the mice.
The mice.
That's right. The
steel wool. Okay, baby. I mean, if you don't know those kind of things, I don't do mice. I can't do them because I'm in a chair screaming. Help me. That's where I'm at, and I don't want to do that, you know. Right. And I don't want to clean. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to act bougie like I ain't never had no roaches. Had plenty of them. Right. That's why we don't want to do them no more. Right. I'm over it. Yep. I'm past that. Deal with flies. Exactly. Oh my God. The flies coming in the house. Okay.
We got to do a summer version of that.
Exactly. So those are things that you have to worry about. You know, it's not about being in a certain address. It's just about loving the place that you're in. Right. And doing what you can do with the place that you have. That's you know what I mean? The space that you have. Exactly.
Right. Yeah? You had mentioned something about, you know, as we were talking from last week to this week. Last week we talked about candles and teas and art, and you were talking earlier about, not earlier this episode, but just in general, about how you love candles. And Nina, we know that her affection for candles is very real. Honey, she's burning them. She always
and it's
burning.
Smelling very lovely in here. Yes.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the candle sale? I gotta go and get some, you know. But you were both saying too about the candles and how they make you feel so good inside. Is how what are some things we can do, I guess, to bring the inside of us, those things that make us feel inwardly happy, and set it into our space. Let's say we're headed for the holidays. We're in a space where pre-dread. Yeah. You know, and we all have them. If you're a Black, you're a mom and you're a woman and you're a Christian and all the things, you're going, you're going to have these moments. Not like it's not going to happen. So tell us, what is like the first thing that you do in order to rewire?
Yes. To rewire yourself?
Yes, right.
I mean, the candles are definitely, but you know, a hot bath and a candle can go a long way.
See? The simple thing.
I mean, because sometimes we don't have money to go and do all of these things, and then the in-laws are coming and all these people are coming and people stressing you out at work and they want you, you know, sometimes just to regroup for a half an hour.
Okay.
I used to do this thing. I would take me my little dollar candles and stuff, give me a little dollar candle or tea lights, get your bag of tea lights, go to Dollar Tree, get you some tea lights and get me a hot bath. I am such a stickler. I mean, in New York, we had big tubs.
Right.
So the little tubs that's down here on your waist and you splashing water to your neck, I can't do. So, but
or a shower.
Exactly. Yeah, a shower can do it too because you can actually.
Because some tubs was little. They come to your ankles.
Yes, they do. It's like a splash pond or something. I don't know. But, you can do simple things like that. Sometimes when I get really stressed out, I will go in my bathroom. I will light me 3 candles or 4 candles, cut the lights off, and take me a hot bath. Okay. Or even take me a hot shower in the dark by candlelight.
Yes.
And put a sign on the door. 20 minutes, please. Mom, 20 minutes. My 20 minutes is not up. I didn't hear the alarm go off yet.
Right.
You know? Right. And just give yourself that 20 minutes to regroup.
Yeah. That's
true.
Now
that's a simple way to,
Okay. Oh, I'm
to
do that tonight.
Shoot. They're gonna be,
it's not bad. I'm gonna do that every 20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes, I'm gonna go and do that. We have been hinting over several episodes that we have surprises coming, and the biggest one Zeita is a part of. Yes. So it's going to be the triumvirate of Nina, Killian, Zeita. And we are, we've been thinking a lot because we all have daughters who are approaching that age of transition into puberty.
Oh gosh, yes.
And, just talking a lot about how we can update certain things that have become like unspoken tradition that aren't necessarily great. And just helping to teach them how to think differently about some things. And so one of our surprises, it's coming soon. What's the name of it?
Well, I'll give you the name. That's about all I can give you.
Okay.
Well, tell us what it means.
Okay. So as you all know, I am a dancer and a choreographer and a teacher.
Yes.
And I fundamentally, when I'm teaching dance, I always start off with ballet, and I teach in language many of the time. So one of my favorite, and one of the hardest techniques to do, exercises to do, is called DEVELOPPE. DEVELOPPE. Some people say developpe, but it doesn't mean the same. You have to say it. DEVELOPPE. Go ahead, say it. Let it roll off your lips.
DEVELOPPE.
And of course, it means developing or to develop, And I think of my daughters and I think of my students when I teach. And once they get to that particular exercise, because it takes a long time to get to that particular exercise that we do at the bar, that is really the one that braces them. It's the one that they hate to do the most, but it's the one that they feel most invigorated once they just even starting to master. It's the one that even when they master, there's still something further to shoot for. It never feels good, but it always looks so pretty. But once it happens, this développé, and basically in dance, what happens is the leg goes up from one side of the leg. I don't know if I can explain it, but the leg goes up from one part of the leg, and it unfolds out into the back.
I think I have a video of a développé of one of your students, and I will post it. Yes. Yes.
Oh my, I'm so proud. Is that student Jinlei?
Yes.
But yes, I think of our daughters because even as we're talking about this idea of creating, making a history, passing on tradition, allowing creativity to happen. I mean, what we're doing basically is all of that. So this new thing that we're going to introduce to you is going to be all of that.
Yes.
That's all I can say. That's all I can say right now. So
that's all you can say. But if you stay tuned, Stay tuned. Just hang in there with us.
We're creating traditions for our and these are for our daughters.
Yeah.
This is for the girls.
Yeah.
You know, so we're learning a lot of things as being Black, as being a woman, as being a mommy, as being a creative artist, and being a Christian, and all the things. Okay. You could at least be 3 of those.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 of those, and if you're all things more, then you go right ahead with yourself. But, we want to be able to empower our girls in every way that we can. And I think when you're a person of color, any color,
Yep.
is your responsibility to give your daughter or a daughter, a young girl, power to empower, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
That makes sense.
When it's our responsibility to do that, because we want to put them in a place of greatness.
Yes.
So that because they are our leaders.
Yeah.
They will be our leaders, and they will be able to take these traditions and move forward. And, don't get me started on the Black woman. Don't get me started on the Black woman. She's been here since the beginning of time. Ow! Go back to Henry Louis Gates.
Oh boy, here we
Great
Go.
Civilizations of Africa. Okay. Go on back and listen to it. He'll tell you. Woman. Say it with me. Black woman.
Oh my gosh.
Woman of color. No, Black woman.
Listen. So you just stay tuned and hang in with us. We have 2, maybe 3, but 2 for sure, more episodes before the end of our season and our break for the holidays. And we will be revealing more about DEVELOPPE. Miss Zeita, thank you so much for being a part of Harmonize today.
Yes, thank
your
you guys
candles.
for having me. I really, really enjoyed myself today.
Yes, make sure you all check out her site on Amazon.
Yes, it will be in the show notes.
Yes.
And so that you can purchase some goodies,
Yes,
because
place your orders soon, 'cause
holiday season is coming up.
Don't get the gold bracelet, because that's mine. That is mine. That's my arm you're looking at. Don't even think about it.
Oh, goodness.
And new stuff is coming anyway.
And new stuff. Boop, bloop. All right.
then.
That was
Well.
it. Here we go.
Take it away, Zeta.
That was good. That's going to be
did
such
it.
a good episode.
One day we're gonna have. We did it. We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
No, you see,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did it.
You know what? I done told y'all be watching these kids programs too long.